Hello and welcome to Allie in Sweatpants. My name is Allie and I am not wearing sweatpants. I'm wearing sweat shorts today because it's summer, 'tis the season. Oh, it's been a minute. I feel like I say this at the start of all of my podcasts, but yes, it's been a minute. As I said in my last vlog, I've been having some hopefully minor health things. But yeah, the doctor kind of told me stop knitting, and I kind of took that to mean decrease the knitting time by 50%. So knitting has been slower and mojo kind of dipped because of it, but it's okay. I say that, but I have a lot to show. I don't know if you can see it, I have something going on with my nose. We're a little crusty. I hope you can't see it, but if you see redness or whatever, your guess is as good as mine what's going on there. So let's just get into it. I will start, as always, with finished objects. I have a few pretty exciting ones. So I can't actually remember what I have and have not shown of this kind of grouping, but I'm making my friend's son some clothes. I basically had like, you know, the odd ball here and there of leftover yarn, and I really was feeling an urge to kind of use them up. And I was like, baby knits. He's not a baby anymore. He's a year and a half old, but I feel like until they're 4 or 5, they feel like cute little baby knits. So I made him some stuff. So this is my first finished object to show. Isn't it cute? So let me pull up my Ravelry notes. So this is a free pattern. It's called the Wammergenser. Sorry. It's a DK weight pattern and it goes from years 1 to 12. So it's like you get a huge size range in this pattern, and it has the most beautiful, I love this type of cable where it looks like a hair braid. It's the first time I've ever done it, but I just love it. And there is also a little cable that runs down the arm. It's very cute. The only thing is there's no short row shaping, which I think is kind of a bummer. I guess for a young kid it's kind of nice because it's reversible. But so this is knit with leftover yarn from my first sweater by Florence Miller. I don't have it to show, but it's Heart to Garn New Wool, I think. It's their recycled wool and other fiber blend, just in this beautiful charcoal color. And so this is not a DK weight yarn, so it might have turned out a bit bigger than intended in the pattern, but I knit the size 2-year-old. And my friend has sent me a picture of her baby, and he's a big boy. He's a big baby. So these might already not fit him, but I figure she might know people who also have kids, or I don't know. Baby knits are really for me. Like, I like making them, and so I already got the joy of doing it, and she can use it, she can gift it, she can donate it, like, it's up to her. So this is the first piece. And then I'm calling this finished. I still need to sew the ears. Did I give enough detail on this? Sometimes I feel like I rush through things and I don't give enough detail. It's a top down, it's a raglan construction, which I think is really nice. I thought it was really interesting. So these cables here, they don't have purl columns framing them, which I've never seen. I guess none of the cables do actually. So at first I was worried that they would kind of like dissolve into the pattern, but I think it's really cute. So yeah, sorry if I rush through things and don't give them enough time or detail. Sometimes I'm watching YouTube videos and the people don't seem rushed at all and they give a ton of detail. And I'm like, wow, I wish that was me. So the next one I have to show is a modified baby bear suit by Knitting for Olive. I knit the size 24 month, and I used Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool, which is an Aran weight yarn, and I used the colorway Brown Heather. And I say it's modified because I decided to make it a cardigan. So I didn't really think, I don't know, parents, people who deal with children, correct me if I'm wrong, but by 2 years old, I didn't really know if like a onesie was the way to go. I thought it was more practical to have a cardigan. I am worried that this one specifically is too small, but we will see. So here's the cute part. Look at the hood. Isn't that adorable? I still need to, I actually don't know how you close it. I'm assuming you add yarn back and like graft it closed like a toe, but I have to look. But yeah, here's the cutie little bear hood. So it's kind of hard to show. But yes, so the original pattern is a suit, so it has legs, and I think the legs even have feet, which is just so cute. It's top down. You start with the hood. I'm almost certain, it's been a while since I knit this. I'm almost certain you start with the hood and then you pick up stitches to add the body. And again, it's a raglan design, and so I just knit the body until, I think it was pretty much until it said to start the pants part of the suit. And I think that that gave a really nice length. And I thought it was so cute in the brown because he's gonna look like a little brown bear. And then I just sewed these on today. I asked Chris to 3D print some cute little buttons for me, and we picked, can you see? We picked these cute little, I hope that's in focus, these cute little bear-shaped buttons. And they're just so cute. We knit them in a brown. I didn't want high contrast. I wanted low contrast buttons. And I think they are just so adorable. It does always make me a little bit nervous gifting. Is that the lighting, or is there, is that the lighting, or is there a different dialogue? Anyway, I always get a little bit nervous gifting kids things with buttons because I don't want to be responsible for any eaten buttons. But yeah, so this is the third thing that this yarn has become. First it was my Lumi pullover by Sorry Nordlyn, and then it was a free fisherman's rib cardigan, and now it's this. So hopefully it gets some good use. The shaping of the hood is very cool. I did some kind of dodgy grafting there. I don't know what happened, but it's kind of cool. It has this like pie-shaped back of the head shaping. And yeah, it is very cute, isn't it? So he's gonna get this cardigan, this sweater, and then I'm almost certain I've showed both of these before. I also knit the Williams overalls. Sorry, they've been folded. Here they are. In a cotton linen blend by Lion Brand, and instead of doing buttons, I just tie little knots because in my head that's just more adjustable to the child than one button. And then I still need to weave in the ends and put in elastic, but then also a pair of First Impression pants. And if you can tell, one leg is shorter than the other because I ran out of yarn, but that doesn't matter. And this is in Erica Knight cotton tweed yarn. So pants, overalls, sweater, cardigan. Cute. It's a little bit giving beige baby, but I think it's gonna be very, very cute. So I think I am seeing this friend. I think she's coming down this month, like next week. I have to coordinate with her, but yeah. So it's gonna be good. I don't even have to mail them. She's coming. My next finished object, you guys didn't even get to see as a whip. I started this the 1st of June, I think, and I started it just around the time my doctor was like, no more knitting. And I was like, okay, but I'm knitting a sweater for a family friend. So this is the Finest Kind sweater by Alicia Plummer. This is my first design I've ever knit by Alicia Plummer, and I really liked it. And that is saying something because it's knit bottom up, which I don't like. I don't like it because I find it just, it's hard to get the length right. It's knit bottom up. There was something else about it that I don't, oops, sorry if you just heard my TV turn off. There's something else about it that I don't typically do. The sleeves are supposed to have short row shaping at the top, and first time I picked up stitches, I was like, I'm not gonna do the short rows. And then I messed up the sleeve. So the second time I was like, okay, I'm gonna do the short rows. Couldn't figure it out. Just could not. My brain was not in a place to figure it out. And then the third time I was like, if I have to do those short rows, the sleeve's just never happening. So I omitted the short rows. I think it would have helped with the shape a little bit. I do worry there's a little bit too much fabric in the armpit. I have already washed and blocked all of these things. I'm so good. That's why I needed to film today, because I'm seeing this family friend tomorrow and I want to give it to him. So yes, it's bottom up. It's in all over double moss stitch, which was very fun. I knit this in Ice Yarns recycled wool in the khaki colorway. I knit myself a Versal a couple months ago in the same color, and I used just under 5 balls, which I've mentioned before. This yarn comes in packs of 4 balls, so if you need more than 4, you have to buy more than 1 pack. Thankfully, it's very affordable yarn, so, but I only used 3 for my sweater, so I had a leftover ball, so it worked out perfectly. And I have, actually there's one right here, I have 2 balls left about this size of this yarn, so if he needs anything lengthened, I have the yarn to do it. And if he doesn't, I am going to use the yarn on my own sweater, because I would like the sleeves to be longer and I would like my body bind off to be looser. So something kind of fun that I did in this sweater is on the inside of the collar, I used a different yarn. So this is actually Knit Picks Shine Worsted, which is a cotton modal blend. And the reason I did this was because I was over at his house and his daughter was saying like she stole a scarf from him, and he was like, oh yeah, that scarf is super scratchy, you can have it. And she was like, oh, I don't find it scratchy. So I was like, oh no, is he sensitive to wool? So just to hedge my bets, I went with a yarn that truly could not possibly scratch anybody ever on the planet. It's a super, super soft yarn. The only downside is when I washed it and blocked it, it did take much longer for this part of the collar to dry than the rest of the sweater. So it's not that big of a deal, but I knit the 6th size in this pattern and I really like it. It has this detail going up the sides where it's almost like a faux seam. And it also goes up the center of the arm, which is nice because it helps hide the decreases. Now the last cute little detail in this sweater is I got a roll of tags made, and so I put one in just so he knows what the back is. I customized it to say, "Lovingly handmade by Allie. Please hand wash with care in warm water and mend with love if needed." And then I have these little Soak brand soap packets, and whenever I gift people a wool knit, I gift one of these with it. So I'll actually probably give him this pineapple scented one. So yeah, this sweater took me quite a while, partially because I was knitting on it slowly, but I feel more attached to this sweater than I can't remember the last time I felt this attached to a project. And I think it's because I knit it so slowly and I took so much time and care and I put so much thought into it. And it was nice. It was just a really, really nice knitting experience doing this. And yeah, I would definitely recommend the pattern if you like the look of it and you're okay with bottom up. Now I just have to lint roll it and then I can gift it to him. So that's exciting to me. So all of my finished objects from here on are socks, because I had a lot on the go already and then I finished them all at the same time. So if you're not into socks, fear not, I have some exciting whips coming up. But I have a lot of socks to talk about. So we'll just start with these. These are all for me, which means they are all knit on 2.5 millimeter needles with 56 stitches. So this didn't have a colorway, but this yarn is from veganyarn.com, and it's their vegan sock base, which is, oh, I always forget the composition. I think it's organic cotton, tencel, and elastic, but I'm not sure the percentages off the top of my head. So this one I just did a stockinette sock with a 2x2 cuff, and I didn't even do a slip stitch heel. I just did a stockinette heel. I'm very excited. I haven't made a pair of socks in this yarn in a while, which I have a ton, so I should. But yeah, so that was really nice. And I also knit a pair of socks. I have to be so careful, itching my nose because of my situation. I also knit a pair in a homespun house. It was part of a 4 Sundays of Advent kit I got. Oops, I've meant to weave these ends in 5 times. A 4 Sundays of Advent that I got, I think it's when I did Vlogmas. And I think that this colorway was called Sugar Plum Dreams. Yeah, it's very, very nice. It has this mustard contrast color. So I did a 2x2 cuff, a slip stitch heel, and a wedge toe. I think they're very pretty and they feel very soft and cozy. Oops. Oh, the next pair of socks is sad because I found out that the yarn is discontinued and I love this yarn. So this is knit in Knit Picks Fettuccine in the Ambrosia Salad colorway, which, horrific. I looked up Ambrosia Salad. I knew what it was, kind of, but I didn't realize there was mayo in it, which is so I don't know about that name. I probably would have called it Citrus Crush or something, but yeah, they're so pretty. And yep, the yarn is discontinued. Knit Picks is doing it no longer. So again, 2x2 cuff, slip stitch heel, wedge toe, you know the drill. I think they're so pretty. And then Legacy Fiber Arts were doing their summer sale where they do a lot of, I think they call it a lemonade stand. That could be wrong. But it's basically a bunch of oopsie skeins or skeins that didn't turn out quite right, or experimental skeins, and they sell them at a discount. And I saw this colorway and I didn't get it. And I was really kind of bummed that I didn't get it. And then they did kind of a second restock and I was like, they have another skein. So I bought it. I think it came with the yellow mini, and then I had the green and the pink. So here they are. Isn't that such a fun colorway? So yes, it came with the yellow. I'm pretty sure it came with the yellow, and I know I added the pink. Yeah, I added the pink and the green. And then I alternated. Isn't that so fun? I alternated the colors for the second sock. Yeah, I really love these. I've been wanting to wear them and I've been waiting so that I could show them on the pod. And my last pair of socks, I put the yarn away like in this cabinet behind me, so I'll put the yarn on the screen because it's stunning. It's a little bit thicker than fingering weight yarn, but it is these beautiful rainbow tweed socks. I will let that come to focus. I mean, they're so much fun. They're so much fun. They definitely feel like dense and thick, so I'm excited to wear these once the weather cools down a bit. My gosh, like, it's just so pretty. And I have another from the same company. It's actually fingering weight sock yarn, but it's black with rainbow tweed, and I'm super excited to knit those. So yeah, I really love these. I think they were so fun to knit up, other than the gauge was a little bit tight just because the yarn is a little tiny bit thicker than normal sock weight yarn. And then it was like, was it this morning? I think this morning I finished this pair of socks. And these are for Chris. So I don't have the other one, it's over there, I didn't grab it. But rest assured, they are done. And they look like this. Now, I don't know what it is about this colorway, but it gave me a huge ick while I was knitting on it. There's something about these spots in this color shift that just like looks like a bug to me. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, so it's 2.5 millimeter needles with 60 stitches because it's for Chris. I did a 5x1 rib with a 1x1 upper rib. I did a slip stitch heel, and so I've mentioned this a couple times I think, but in all of Chris's socks, all of them, they have worn out in the toe, and they wear out in those 2 stitches between the decreases when you do a wedge toe. All of them. Not a single one has worn out somewhere else before wearing out there. So I'm trying new toes for him. So I've done the umbrella toe a couple times, which I kind of have to modify because 60 stitches is not divisible by the amount you need for a true umbrella toe. So this one I think was technically called a star toe. Can you see? So it's kind of like the decreases in a hat. I don't know if you can see, but basically it makes a more pointed toe, and there's no one place of weakness, if that makes sense. So maybe you can see it better now that I've folded it that way. I hope that these close-up shots are focusing. I don't know if they are. So yeah, okay, socks over. Oh, but that yarn is, I'll let you read it yourself. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that leftover yarn because I don't like looking at it. Moving right along into works in progress. After I cast off the Finest Kind sweater, I kind of had a little bit of like a knitting crisis. I didn't know what to work on. I didn't know what to cast on. I have a big project I want to start pretty much as soon as possible. I just want to film sort of like an intro plans video for it. And I just haven't done that. And that's what's holding me back from starting, which I know is silly, but it is what it is. So yeah, this poor sweater. This sweater only gets worked on when I don't know what else to work on. It's the Kupla sweater from the 52 Weeks of Easy Knits. Yeah, Easy Knits book. I knit one for Chris a couple of years ago and I really like it. It's in this all over bubble stitch. It is bottom up, flat, and seamed, which probably has something to do with why I don't pick it up very often. I'm knitting it in this cone of Donegal tweed yarn in the shade number 5515. And I got this from, I'll put it on the screen, but I think it was called Wolfie Yarn Co. They have a ton of these cones. So I am knitting the 3rd size, I believe. And this is the front panel. I already have the back panel done. I have about, my needle is stuck, okay. I have about 20 more centimeters before I start any sort of neck shaping. So it's just knit, knit, knit back and forth with an eventual bubble row. So I did put a few rows on this like earlier this week, but now I've started something else, and so I think it's going to be put back on the back burner. Will this sweater ever get finished? Who's to say? Not I. So the other exciting cast on is another design by I just bit my tongue. Is another design by Alicia Plummer. And I talked about this in my vlog, but I'm knitting it in all woolly knit British 4-ply. And so these two, they very, very kindly gifted to me. This one is actually going to be part of my project I was just talking about, and that's what they sent it to me for. So I'm just stealing a little bit of it for this sweater, and I'm hoping it doesn't bite me in the butt when it comes to the actual sweater I want to make with it. But yes, so this is the Celtic Blue colorway, and I don't remember this red color, but it's one of the only bright reds they have, I believe. And then this one I think was called Skadal Nep. And I was using this in my sheep sweater for the sheep, and so I already had some caked up, so it was kind of perfect. What am I knitting, you may ask? That's a great question. What is the name of it? I ask you as well. Sorry if you can hear the creaking of my chair. Cool, Ravelry is frozen. It's called the Scotch Pine sweater, and there are two versions of this sweater. There's a simplified chart and a more complicated chart. I am knitting the simplified chart. How am I going to show this? Which basically is a bunch of leaves and dots. Oi, 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 this is not going to be easy. I'm struggling. There we go. So the collar is a 1x1 collar with this red, and the sleeves will also have this red. And then I have done the color work. So I modified these red circles just a little bit. One of the rows is supposed to have a white stitch in the middle, and I decided to do all red because I thought it could maybe emulate, oh my gosh, I thought it could emulate berries. So I have the first of the leaves done. I've just started the second of the leaves. I find stressful color work. I find color work stressful. I just do. I don't want to, but I do. My tension is bad. Like, look at my raw, unfiltered tension. Does woolly knit 4-ply bloom? That's my question to you all. I'm hoping that it does, because I think that will neaten this up. Blocking it's gonna work its magic on this. I know it will. But I just find it stressful, and like, it's a circular yoke, so all the rows, not all the rows, but they get longer because you eventually add more stitches. I just find it stressful, but this is going to be my Christmas sweater. And once I get the colorwork yoke done, I'm rewarded by a stockinette body. So there will be 3 sets of these leaves that each get a little bit bigger, like more leaves are added to them for each motif. So the only downside is there are long floats in this pattern. I am not a colorwork guru. I'm not a float connoisseur. My floats aren't the best. I don't catch them, but I'm going to have to because I think the next row there's like 14 stitches between the colors. So what size am I making? Great question. 5th size. And I'm not using the recommended needles. I'm using 3mm for the ribbing and 3.5 for this cord's making it impossible. 3.5 for the rest of the sweater. So my next and last work in progress that isn't socks. I just cast this on 2 nights ago, I think. And this was just really calling to me. I don't know why, but it was. And this is what I cast on during my knitting crisis, because I was like, I don't need it. It's not part of my big project, but it just was like the thing that was exciting me. So this is the Esther sweater by Petite Knit, and I am knitting, didn't write it down, didn't write it down. Didn't write it down. 5th size. I'm knitting the 5th size. Pretty much my go-to is the 5th size. I'm a tight knitter. It's a good bet. And it's just this really beautiful kind of, is that the right? Yeah. Kind of like diamondy, seed stitchy, moss stitchy pattern. I really like it. I knit Chris the cardigan version of this, I think 2 years ago now, in a beautiful like emerald green yarn. The yarn I'm using is, again, Ice Yarns recycled wool in, I'm pretty sure this is their tomato red colorway. And I love it. You guys are gonna see lots of this yarn on this channel because I did a huge haul and I love it. I love it. So I've like truly just started it, but I have finished all the increases. So now I get to just knit until the back reaches a certain point. Then I do the front and then I join in the round. I honestly find this pattern annoying, knit flat, because I find the inside hard to read. The outside's easy to read. I do cross off every row on the chart. I wish I was one of those people that was like, yeah, I've knit enough rows, like I've memorized it, I don't need to look at the chart anymore. It's not me. So I do cross off every row, but on the right side rows, it's really easy to glance at the chart. Okay, I'm increasing the diamond. Okay, I'm decreasing. So I'm excited to get to the round because then it's all right side rows. And yeah, I'm enjoying this a lot. I'm enjoying the yarn. I'm enjoying the yarn on the gauge. I'm excited to have a bright red Esther sweater. It's all good things over here. So my last work in progress is another sock. Chris asked for more shorties. I have not made a pair of shorties yet that don't slip. I'm wearing a pair right now. They slip. I never wear them. They drive me crazy. It's only because Chris and I went out and about. And so I was thinking, what can I do to help prevent this? And I looked at a few patterns on Ravelry. Nothing was tickling my fancy, so I kind of took elements from different socks. So the first thing I'm trying is the entire leg portion is ribbed. Now this is a cotton sock yarn, so it's not like wool where it naturally wants to bounce back. I'm hoping when I wash and dry it, it will do that, and if not, I'm going to thread elastic around the ankle. So I did 5 centimeters in ribbing, which for me was about 30 rows. I'm doing a slip stitch, heel flap and gusset. And my plan is when I get to the gusset decreases, I'm going to see on his foot where the arch of his foot is in relation to that last gusset decrease, because I want to put probably like 3 or 4 centimeters of 1x1 rib around his arch, because I think that will also help keep the sock from slipping. That's my plan. I'll let you know how it goes. For the other thing I did for the rib is, like I said, I typically do 60 stitches for him for his socks, and I did 56 stitches, and then just before I started the heel I increased to 60 stitches. The yarn I'm using is leftover yarn from previous socks. It's the King Cole cotton socks. I really like this yarn. I really, really like this yarn. It makes great socks. And I have plans to make some Christmas socks with this yarn. I just have to order the red one. Yeah, that's that. I have been so good about not buying yarn. Not because I haven't been tempted, but because I got in this funk with our house where I was like, all I could see were piles and clutter and excess. And so I donated a bunch of yarn to my mom because she makes a lot of donation blankets and hats. It was yarn that I had no plan on using ever, really. So I donated a ton to her. I had that beautiful Milky Way Let Lopey cloud sweater that I sent to my friend. I put in my friends group chat, like, look, I can't stand this yarn. Like, truly, my hands can't stand it, which makes me think my neck and my arms won't stand it either. And I had been contemplating for months whether I should offload it or not, because it's just like the most beautiful color ever. But I couldn't even stand to touch it. Like, that yarn is not for me. I washed and blocked a swatch to see if it got softer. It didn't for me. And I had heard people say the more you wear it, the softer it gets. But like, I didn't want to put myself through it. So I put a message into my group. I said, can't stand it. Does anyone want it? One of my friends said that she did. And I said, would you like the sweater? Because I had done like half the body at least and a sleeve. I said, do you want the sweater, or I can frog it and just send you the yarn? And she asked what size I was making. I sent her the size, and she was like, I think it might fit me, so go ahead and leave it. So I was so excited. I was so excited that she wanted it. I was excited that she was excited about it. So yeah, I mailed that off to her early this week, and I can't wait for her to get it. I hope she loves it, and it just deserved a loving home, you know? So I do have one acquisition, all of this being said, but I'm going to save it for my big plans video that I've been teasing, because it's for that. It's the yarn and it's the project that sparked this entire idea, so I'm gonna save it for that. And that's that. Is there any life admin I want to update you on? Not really. I'm doing okay. Anxiety's been high, but stuff's been happening. So all in all, we're doing okay. And trying to enjoy summer. Chris and I have been trying to go to the beach twice a week for the past couple of weeks. We went yesterday. We're hoping to go again tomorrow. We've been unusually social the past 2 or 3 weeks, but it's been amazing. I've been craving community and socialization for so long, and so these past few weeks have just been really nice. Tomorrow we're going over, like I said, to my family friend's house. His wife does pottery and has a wheel and everything, and so some of her kids are going to join, some of their significant others are going to join, so it's just going to be so nice. It's going to be so nice. So looking forward to that. I hope you're all doing well. Please let me know in the comments what you were knitting on. Also, if you have any podcast recommendations, I would love to hear them. I am constantly looking for new people on YouTube to watch, especially ones with big backlogs, but I also love new accounts. So yes, if you have, I would love your like top 3, top 5 favorite knitting accounts. And it doesn't matter if they have 20 followers, it doesn't matter if they have 20,000 followers. I just want to know, because I would love to find some new people. So yes, that's it. I'm going to stop rambling. My throat hurts. I have nothing left to give. So thank you for being here. If you're new, welcome. I should have said that at the beginning. If you're returning, welcome back. I so appreciate you coming back and spending time with me. And now I really am rambling, so I will love you. I will leave you. I hope you're well. Chat with me in the comments. That makes this all feel very real when I actually get to talk to people. And I will be back when I have more to talk about. Bye.